It's June the 11th Picks edition of the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Edge Boost, the bank account built for bettors. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with the promo code SGPN and get a free Refs Are Terrorists t-shirt. Claim your shirt at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/refs. Welcome, everybody, to the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is Tuesday, June the 10th. We are here to handicap a full card of action on the diamond for Wednesday, June the 11th. Joining me from somewhere in New York State is Mr. Dylan Rockford. D-Rock, how the hell are you?
The Triple Crown is dead. It's dead.
Wasn't that dead? We got the first three home.
No, we got it home, but how sad. There was no storyline going into it over the weekend, and if he would have raced in the Preakness, he would have won. I'm convinced.
Probably. Yeah, I agree.
It's sad.
The other horse ran all three races absolutely fine. They're a lot more robust, Dylan, than people give them credit for, but they're worth, unfortunately, what's in that ball sack is worth a gazillion times more than what they do on the track. So very similar with myself, actually. It was one of those things.
Real quick,
go on, mate.
No, I just wanted to say, Scott and I were talking real quick. I think it was on Sunday. What's wrong with the United States? They lost a friendly?
Who did they lose to? Trinidad.
Trinidad, yeah.
Are
we gonna qualify for the World Cup?
Well, you're hosting it, yeah. The hosts qualify automatically, Dylan. Luckily,
okay.
I don't think there's anything wrong with the US men's national team. I just don't think they're very good. That's about the top and bottom of it. Like I say, they will be there because they are host. The host nation always qualifies. England lost tonight against African opposition for the first time ever.
Wow.
Never lost a game before against African opposition. They were beaten 3-1 by Senegal this evening. Senegal were tipped at 6-1 on the Premier League Gambling Podcast last night.
David is correcting us. We lost to Turkey.
Oh, okay. Yes, Turkey did beat you the other day. I know they were playing Trinidad in a qualifier. Yeah, Turkey on a bad side either, by the way. And home advantage go a long way. So you've got a good manager. I like Maurizio Pochettino, who's the US manager. So we'll see. Well spotted, David, by the way. I'm going to Turkey.
Really?
Next month? No.
Hair transplant? I'm just kidding.
If there's one thing I do not need, it's a hair transplant, mate. I've got the only thing that works left on me from there up. I'm in great condition. No, just on holiday, mate. But
Nice.
going to Turkey on August the 16th. So
Nice.
I'll try and do some live, some YouTube
Istanbul?
shorts and stuff from Turkey. You what, mate?
Are you going to Istanbul?
No. South Coast, Antalya, that kind of area.
Heard of it.
Have a look
Is
on the map.
it
Should be very
safe?
nice. Looks nice on the internet. Remains to be seen. Now we stay away from the dodgy areas.
Yeah, good.
Who's all joined us in the chat? Callum. Callum might have got some 6-1 Senegal. He was in the Premier League show yesterday. Trev was first in, and David correcting our football knowledge. Welcome along, David. Thank you very much. If you are in the chat and you want to say hello or give us some picks, by all means do so. Myself and Lonte did the show last night. Nothing has changed. Our Tuesday picks haven't gone off yet. There were 9 games on Monday night, Dylan. 5 of them went to extras. Bit of an odd turn of events. Pete Alonso, though, getting on to your New York Mets, he's gone back to the lead in the RBI market, a bet which I had at 18-1. He was up there. I was all excited. Then he dropped off a bit and I was less excited. And now I'm all excited again. Alonso has been a little bit streaky, but he looks good.
No, he's on fire right now. I think he's hitting over 400 last 10, 11 games. So, yeah, he's been a National League Player of the Week, batting 400, 5 home runs, 15 RBIs. He's been heating up again. So it's been good. I think especially the top of the lineup, and it always fares well when you go up against a Double-A team like the Rockies. So it's been good for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, okay, we'll move on to Wednesday's card and get these games handicapped. Don't forget to use the SGPN app for all your Stanley Cup, college baseball, World Series, the NBA Finals. Everything's on there wherever you get your apps. We will start tomorrow with a 12:35. Lots of baseball tomorrow. 12:35 Eastern. First pitch between the Miami Marlins and the Pittsburgh Pirates. It will be Cal Quantrill for Miami and Bailey Falter, left-handed pitcher, goes for Pittsburgh. No lines on this one. I'm not really sure why, because we've seen pitchers listed most of the day. I think there's 2 games just that are off the board currently. So we should be able to handicap the majority of these fully. Cal Quantrill, I don't really mind him. He's all right. Just actually talking about Miami, Yuri Perez pitched last night. I thought they left him in a little bit too long. He no way tried to hold back Yuri Perez. He threw about 30 of his 50 pitches at about 175 miles an hour. He just went absolutely berserk. Hopefully, good sign there for Yuri Perez and Miami. Cal Quantrill hasn't been terrible lately. Lowered his ERA to 5.63, which tells you where he was. Last start was against Colorado. Doesn't really count. And just not massively sort of convinced by him or by Miami lately either. And he's just not been very good on the road. Cal Quantrill, 6.75 road ERA. And I think we have to keep taking the Pirates while they're a little bit hot. They're on a season high 4-game winning streak. Pittsburgh. Bailey Falter is fine, 3.49 ERA and a 1.12 WHIP, and that should be good enough here. If Pittsburgh keeps scoring him runs, he's got a 3.12 home ERA. Pittsburgh have won his last 2 starts, and Miami not great against the lefties either. 3-8-4 straight up. First 5. 3-8-4 first 5 against left-handed pitching. So yeah, while Pittsburgh are hot, I don't mind taking them. Obviously, I haven't seen the prices. I won't be backing them at anything too short, but I don't think they'll be too prohibitive here. I'll take the Pirates still.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I made them a -160 favorite. I doubt they're that high, but they're right in a season high 4-game winning streak, and I think we got to keep rolling with them. They just beat the Marlins 10-3. They had 15 hits. I don't remember the last time Pirates had 15 hits in a game. Lineup is showing depth. They got the momentum right now. Marlins, they're just in disarray right now. They've lost 8 of their last 9. They're struggling to prevent those big innings. Those big innings are killing the Marlins right now. And because of that, the bullpen's being effective as well. The defense isn't good. And I'm not a big Cal Quantrill guy. I think he might get hit up here. Pittsburgh, I think they're good. They're 20-8 against NL East teams at home since last season. Crazy stat, but I think Pittsburgh is the right side here, especially their current offensive form and the way the Marlins are struggling right now. I do think we have to continue to back the Pirates here. So hopefully we get a very playable price. I don't think they'll be that high, but yeah, I think we got to go with the Pirates here, depending on the number.
That is a great stat. You've pulled out the stat of the day nice and early there, Dylan.
Yeah.
With that NL East record. Very good. Yeah, Pittsburgh could go entire weeks without getting 15 hits in the past. So 15 in one game. So Andrew McCutcheon's been amongst the runs and the hits lately, which is good for him. Next up is a 1:05 Eastern first pitch between the Chicago Cubs and the Philadelphia Phillies. Ben Brown starts for the Cubbies, and for the Phillies, it will be left-handed pitcher Jesus Luzardo. Phillies -125, Cubs +105. And the total here is 8.5. Dylan.
Yeah, tough game to handicap, but Phillies did snap their losing streak. Extra inning win against the Cubs. Clutch hitting finally they were able to get. They are still dealing with that Bryce Harper injury. Despite them struggling offensively the last week or so, I do like Jesus Luzardo a little better than Ben Brown. And this Cubs offense, I think it's kind of slacked off a little bit. They've kind of been inconsistent this past week, and I think they're just kind of relying on power as of late. Philly at home, I know they're not playing well, but at home, 20-12 straight up. I think coming back home after that long road trip, I think is going to be good for the Phillies here. They do have the pitching advantage, slight pitching advantage with Jesus Luzardo. I'll back them. My numbers made them a -140 favorite, so -125 could blow up in my face, but I'm gonna take a shot here with the Phillies.
I wasn't particularly convinced. I know they snapped the skid last night, but really they had to play quite a lot of small ball to do it. They got a bunt and then another bunt, and then there was an error, and they did squeak out a one-run win. I just wasn't convinced by what I saw. All 9 innings, Dylan, or 8 actually, because it's in bottom of the 9th, were under 20 pitches. It's not like they were putting together a series of good at-bats. I wasn't convinced by them at all. And the fact that they are back at home and they did win a game, I think's not really reflected in the prices here. Ben Brown, he's grown on me a little bit. Back-to-back good starts for him. He's got a 5.37 ERA. He's got a 7.67 daytime ERA. I picked out some half-decent day-night splits and day stats, which I'll get to as we go on the show. But his last 2 have been better. Jesus Luzardo has somehow given up 20 earned runs in his last 5 2/3 innings, which isn't quite impressive. I'm going to trust Brown to carry on his recent improvement, and I do seem to think that the Philly offense is still struggling. I wasn't that win last night didn't paper over the cracks for me. They looked like an offense that was still up against it. As you said, missing Bryce Harper still. I'll take the Cubs at an underdog price of +105. Next up, 110 Eastern, Cincinnati Reds at the Cleveland Guardians. Left-handed pitcher Nick Lodolo will take on left-handed pitcher Logan Allen for the Guardians. -115 Cleveland, -105 Cincinnati, and the total here sits at 8.5. Nick Lodolo, I like. 4-4 record, I think, has been slightly indicative of how kind of flaky the Reds are. The Reds, all of a sudden, are in decent form again. They've won 4 in a row. They've won 5 out of their last 6. But 3.21 ERA with a 1.08 whip is fine. Road split, though. 7 games started on the road. 1.25 ERA for Nick Lodolo, which is very good. Logan Allen, not quite as sharp. Generally, 4.42 ERA, 1.58 whip is high. And we keep labouring this point, but Cleveland can't hit left-handed pitching. Cleveland can't win games where when there's a left-handed starter on the mound for the Otto, 4-13 straight up against lefties. There's a lefty going to the mound on Tuesday. I can't remember who it was. We handicapped last night. And the handicap was the same, but I don't know why you would change it. The fact I like Lodolo is just an added bonus, really. I think you have to take the Reds -105, Dylan.
Yeah, both lefties going, like you said, but I was kind of looking at, just to double check, I was kind of looking at the batting splits for the Reds, because I know the Guardians struggle, but the Reds struggle even more against lefties, just hitting 215 on the year, according to ESPN, and the Guardians are hitting 224. So both terrible, but Reds a little worse here, both hovering around 500. I don't know. I think the Reds coming off a game where they had 16 hits. I think regression might come for them. They have won 4 in a row. I think Cleveland's lineup has been a little more consistent at home. So I think it should be a close game. The odds indicate that. I I think the bullpen and the pitching advantage goes to the Guardians. My numbers made them a minus 120 favorite, so I'm gonna take the Guardians here at home minus 112.
Okay, back to back. Crossfires there, which isn't much help to anybody. Next game on the card will be a 2:10 Eastern first pitch between the Atlanta Braves and the Milwaukee Brewers. Spencer Schwellenbach goes to the mound for Atlanta. Drawing the start for the Brew Crew is Chad Patrick. Plus 115 home underdogs, the Brewers. Minus 135, the Braves. The total, Dylan, 7.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the home dog here in the value with the Brewers plus 122. My numbers only made Spencer Schwellenbach and the Braves a minus 110 favorite. Both teams starting young pitchers here, but I still don't trust the Braves here on the road. One win last night really doesn't change my mind. Like you said with the Phillies, it's really not convincing me here, especially offensively. They leave a ton of guys on base, and I think the Brewers are a solid team at home, 19-13 straight up. And Chad Patrick has been great at home for the Brew Crew. So I think they have the pitching advantage. Bullpen worries me a little bit for the Brewers. So maybe you want to back them in the first 5. I just trust Chad Patrick more than Spencer Schwellenbach right now. So think the Brewers, yeah, they lost last night, but I think they bounce back here. So I'll take the home dog plus 122 with the Brewers.
Okay, well, back on the same side, Dylan. I agree with you this time. That one win for Atlanta doesn't make much of a difference to me. I agree with you. One stat I did pull out, which is neither here nor there, is that Atlanta are 9-19 in one-run games, which kind of tells you a little bit where their season's going. Schwellenbach's fine, really quite a boring profile. 4-4, 3.25 ERA, but he's 2.5 runs per game worse on the road than he is at home. And Chad Patrick's been excellent. 2.84 ERA, 121 whip. Contrasting trends in the total. Schwellenbach's all overs, Patrick's all unders. And Atlanta's road record's absolutely woeful. It's 11-23. Much prefer the Brewers at home here. Plus 115. Might even be a wrong team favourite here. We've got a WTF. I will take the Brewers alongside Dylan at plus 115. We move on. Let me tell you first about Edge Boost, the first ever bank account built for bettors, ensuring all gambling transactions are approved. No usage fees, no minimums, cashback rewards, 100% approval for all betting deposits. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet. The promo code is SGPN. And it's the last week to sign up and get a free Refs Are Terrorists t-shirt. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/refs to claim your free shirt. The Circa Ultimate Fantasy Football giveaway. What an incredible prize this is. I spent an afternoon at Circa a couple of years ago, NFL Week 1. Loads of fun and games there. What a venue. Your entire 12-team league can draft in a cabana at Stadium Swim. A limo ride from the airport, $5,000 tab for Stadium Swim, and the hotel stay for you and your 11 league mates. If you're not making it out there, the SGPN DGens can always get 15% off at Circa Properties with the promo code SGP15. Enter the Ultimate Fantasy Football Contest for free at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/circa. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CIRCA. 2:15 Eastern first pitch. The Toronto Blue Jays are visiting the St. Louis Cardinals. Officially TBG Toronto. You told me that it's Eric Lauer going for the Blue Jays. St. Louis will throw left-handed pitcher Matthew Liberatore. Minus 160 for the Cardinals, plus 130 for the Blue Jays. No total on this one, oddly enough. Have you seen a total, D-Rock?
Yeah, it's 8.5, minus 110 both ways.
Okay, 8.5. I mean, Eric Lauer, I don't mind. He's made 8 appearances so far, only 2 starts, so he's been in and out of the pen. But he's fine when he's been on the mound, no problem. 0.88 whip. 208 ERA. So I'm quite surprised the Blue Jays at this price. Liberatore, his last 2 have been really poor. 11 earned runs across 9 innings in 2 defeats for St. Louis. He is better at home. St. Louis don't ever give him much offense, though. The Blue Jays are 9-5 straight up against left-handed pitching, and they're in good form. They haven't got a very good day record. They're 12-16 in day games compared to 24-14 at night, which is a bit of a puzzling stat. I'm not going to read too much into it. I think it's just a slight anomaly. But I think the Blue Jays team total, I don't mind. But I hadn't seen these prices earlier on, and that plus 130 for Toronto is quite appealing to me, Dylan.
Yeah, I agree. The Blue Jays, they're one of the hottest teams right now. They've won 10 out of their last 12. They just rallied to win 5-4 in extra innings last night. They're showing resilient, clutch hitting. Alejandro Kirk, a lot of them. The offense is hot right now. And while it doesn't matter who they're pitching, regardless, I know there's no listed, but I do think it's Eric Lauer. I think it's going to be better than Matthew Liberatore, who I think has struggled consistently here this season. They blew a late lead, and their bullpen kind of been shaky as well for St. Louis. So I don't know. I think with Toronto, with their lineup clicking, their bullpen's been much better recently in their win streak. And I just think St. Louis has some vulnerabilities. I know their offense has been good, but I don't know. I think plus 130, the value has to be with them. So I trust the bullpen. I think Eric Lauer has been good, and offensively, I think Blue Jays have been really good. So plus 130, I'm going to take the Blue Jays here.
Next is a 3:40 Eastern first pitch between the Seattle Mariners and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Brian Wu for the Mariners with left-handed pitcher Eduardo Rodriguez for the Snakes. Even money, Arizona plus 100, Seattle minus 120. The total, Dylan, 8.5.
Yeah, so shop around. I see minus 108, minus 110 for Seattle. That's where I'm going to go here. My numbers made him a minus 115 favorite. I think Brandon Wu's been very effective since returning from that injury, and the Mariners pitching staff, I think, just keeps them in the ball games. Offensively, they hurt me, but on the road, they've been much better. And going up against Eduardo Rodriguez, I think he's a complete fade at home. Mariners offense is better suited to hit left-handed pitching and on the road. So D-backs, their bullpen's unreliable. Eduardo Rodriguez is unreliable. So I actually like the over. My total came out to 9.3. I think we see a lot of runs here, but I am going to back Seattle, and I like the over.
So we handicapped Brian Wu on last night's show. Seattle have pushed him back a day. And the handicap still stands in that, although his surface numbers are okay, the 3 losses in a row aren't great. And I couldn't really back him outright, even though there's a lot of things in Seattle's favour in this spot. One of which being E-Rod just been absolutely awful recently. Yeah. 6.70 ERA with a 1.75 whip. My instinct immediately was over, which you mentioned, and the trends completely back it up, especially in the first 5. Brian Wu, we talked about this on last night's show, 3-1 to a first 5 over. E-Rod 3-1 to a first 5 over. Really strong trends, both pitchers in that direction. So I don't need to get away from it. I will take the first 5 over in that Mariners at D-backs. 4:07 Eastern first pitch. This is the second game that's off the board here, and it is the Athletics against the LA Angels. The A's are officially TBD, although we believe it will be JP Sears going. The Angels have confirmed Kyle Hendricks to the mound, but no prices as a result. First off, on the subject of the A's, did you see Denzel Clark's catch last night, Dylan?
Unfucking believable. It was one of the best catches I've ever seen. But the commentary blew. He was just like, "Oh,
okay." I didn't notice one way or the other commentary.
Yeah, but what a unbelievable catch! You saw it on the pitcher's face. He was just like I can't believe he caught that.
It looked like making the catch was one thing, but then he looks like he's going over the wall, and he's sort of like in a gymnastic, like you see a gymnast on a pommel horse or a piece of apparatus. He sort of rotated his body to pop himself off the top of the wall back in. It was fucking astonishing. Yeah, really, really good. Good to watch. The A's have got loads of good young players like that.
Yeah,
so,
they do.
Yeah, more power to them. JPCS is getting hit around in every start. 4, 2, 9, 6, and 14 runs in his last 5. tons of overs as a result in his game log. Kyle Hendricks is quite easy to handicap because he gives up 3 or 4. And you can take that to the bank. Both teams averaging 4.3 runs per game. The first game, that game last night, we just talked about, finished 7-4. And it does look like that kind of series, an over series, double figures. So I haven't seen a total on this. It will be round about 9.5, I'm having a guess at. But I still think we can get there. I'd be taking an over, Dylan.
Yeah, I like the Angels here, minus 130. I actually see lines here. Last time I checked, minus 130 for the Angels, plus 110 for the Athletics, totals at 10. So
Okay.
my numbers made him a minus 140 favorite. And the offense has been better as of late, I'll say, for the Angels. They're averaging around 6.2 runs per game the last week or so. And the A's, they've struggled a little bit on the road, not at home. At home, they're an over machine. But I don't know. I think the total at 10 is a little too high, if I'm being honest. Hendrick has been much better at home this season, and all 5 of his starts in at home in Anaheim have gone under this total. So I think 10 is a little up there. I understand why it's so high. My total came out to 9.4. I'm going to take the under here, and I absolutely like the Angels here.
Next game, 4:10 Eastern. The LA Dodgers at the San Diego Padres. It will be left-handed pitcher Justin Robleski for the Dodgers, taking on Randy Vasquez of the Friars. Plus 120 the Padres, minus 140 the Dodgers. Total 9.5. D-Rock, what have you got to tell us about Justin Robleski? Teach me.
Yeah, I mean, we should definitely fade him. I mean, plus 130, plus 125 for the Padres. I think that's a great price for them, who I think they have the pitching advantage and the bullpen advantage. Los Angeles offense, I think, is good. Going on the road against Randy Vasquez, who has been good at home, I don't like this here for them. Padres have been competitive, and they're a very solid home team, 20-11 straight up. And Justin Werberski, he just has not been good on the road for the Dodgers. So at home, I think he's backable, but I don't think he's good. And I just think this might be a good spot for the Padres offense to kind of get him back into the win column here. So the value has to be with the home puppy here, and that's where I'm going.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Robleski has had 3 starts. He got a blowout win, which was okay. But then the other 2 that were close games, he gave up 12 earned runs across both. So he needs to show some improvement. He needs to show me something before I can back him. Minus 140, I agree, is an insane price. That's the sort of price you'd expect against one of the dog shit teams, not the Padres. Really surprised at that. Even though Randy Vasquez is quite hard to trust, service numbers are okay. Now, last night we talked up the unders in Petco Park recently, but that wasn't the case in game 1 of this series. It finished 9-8. There was 9 leads changes in that game last night. If you were a live bettor, you could have made all sorts of money on everything in that one. And I feel this is a similar one. There's so many guys on both teams here that are hitting well that I think the over is live. But I haven't seen the money line prices. I think you have to back the Padres. Minus 140 with Robleski. It doesn't appeal to me at all. So I'll take the Padres, and I will take the over as well. 6:35 Eastern first pitch is the Detroit Tigers at the Baltimore Orioles. We have, on the next page, we have Casey Mize. I still want to say Larry Mize every time. We have Casey Mize going for Detroit. Baltimore will send Zach Eflin to the mound, and this one is a match on the books. It is minus 110 each of 2, with a total here sitting at 9. I'm quite surprised at the odds here. Mize is going very well. 6-1 record, 2.91 ERA. Not as good on the road. His ERA goes up to 3.19 as road starts. But I just find Eflin incredibly average, really. He's poor in Camden Yards. He's got a 5.40 ERA at home. Detroit is 7-2 straight up in the starts that Mize has made. The bullpen is a run and a half better on average than the Baltimore pen. It's a bit peculiar because Lonte made quite a good case for wanting to back the Orioles. So into this month, he thinks they had some progression going. And then every night I've come to handicap them, I've never wanted to pick them. I thought it was he made a really good case. But then on a nightly basis, I feel like I want to fade them every night. They might come good. I think in a match, Detroit at -110 appeal more, Dylan.
Yeah, I got to take the Tigers here at even money. My numbers made them a -120 favorite here on the road with Casey Mize, who I think has been solid, but the Orioles offense has been much better here since firing their manager a few weeks ago. So I don't know. I think we might see some runs here. And I think Zach Eflin on the other side, I think he's been okay, and he's capable of limiting damage. But the Tigers offense has hit much better on the road this season. They're averaging 5.14 runs per game on the road. And I think they'll be able, once Zach Eflin leaves, I think they'll be able to get this bullpen. So I still don't trust this bullpen. It's a bottom 6 bullpen in the league for Baltimore right now. So Orioles still 12-17 straight up in Baltimore this year. Tigers are the much better team. I agree. I know they've been playing much better, Baltimore, but every time I try to handicap them, I feel like the other team is getting disrespected somehow. And I think the Tigers, even though they're on the road, I think they should be favorites here. So yeah, I'll take even money here with the Tigers.
Okay, there you go. Team right on the Detroit Tigers. Underdog is going long for the NBA Finals with their extender bonus. Hop in game one, and the longer the series goes, the bigger the bonus gets. Use our code MLB SGPN to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. UnderdogFantasy.com promo code MLB SGPN. And you've heard us talk about rhythm several times before, but they've just dropped a game-changing feature called Power Trends. These are AI-detected patterns where Rhythm's model has consistently won and is a high ROI. For example, a strikeout prop that's hitting 59% of the time when the line and win probability hit a certain range. Power Trends are updated daily and exclusive to Rhythm. Download the Rhythm app, check out Power Trends and start betting smarter. Get your 7-day free trial at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. And finally, we're brought to you by mybookie.ag, your place to bet on every sport, including the NBA Finals and Stanley Cup. Tons of locations accepted. Head to mybookie.ag. Use the promo code SGPN. You will get a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. T's and C's apply. That's mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. Next game on the card is at the top of the page, 7:10 Eastern between the Washington Nationals and your New York Mets. Jake Irvin will go for Washington. For the Mets, it will be left-handed pitcher David Peterson. -250 the Mets, +210 the Nationals. Total, Dylan, is 8. -250 is a skinny price, isn't it?
Yeah, very skinny. I kind of like the Mets team total over here, maybe 4.5, whatever it is. Their offense, like we said at the top of the show, is kind of heated up recently, especially the top of the lineup. And like I said, it never hurts to play the Rockies to kind of get the rhythm going a little bit. But not the biggest Jake Irving fan. Yeah, he's been winning. He has a winning record, but he gives up a lot of hard contact on the road. So against a team that's starting to heat up, I don't like this spot for him on the road. And David Peterson, I said it. Maybe it's a little outlandish, but I think he's been a top 5, top 10 pitcher this year for in the league, and he's been amazing for the Mets. And I think this is a good matchup for him. National struggle against left-handed pitching. Their bullpen's terrible. Kind of like the over 8 as well. My total came out to 8.8, so I do think we'll see some runs in this game from both teams. But like the over, and I also like the Mets team total over as well.
I saw these prices +210. I thought, right, let's try and find a good angle in to take the Nationals. And then the more I looked, I couldn't do it. Like, I really wanted to find something to allow me to take that 210, but I just couldn't do it. Irvin's road starts aren't terrible. He's got a bit of a wonky 4-1 record because his 4.66 ERA doesn't reflect anywhere near why he should be 4-1. But Peterson's much better, 2.80 ERA, really good at home, 3-0 record. The Mets' home record of 24-7 is hard to argue with. And the Nats aren't great against lefties, 7-11 against left-handed pitching. Washington team total under was where I got to, which is really quite a clumsy pick, I think. But I just could. Minus 250 is a horrible price to try and work with, but I couldn't make a case for the dog. So that's where I got to. I imagine this will be way down my list of things to back on the night. Back down to a 7:10 Eastern first pitch between the Tampa Bay Rays and the Boston Red Sox, where Zach Littell will go for Tampa Bay. For Boston, it will be Walker Buehler. And this is a match on the books as well, the second one in 3 games. It is minus 110 each of 2 with a total of 9.5. On last night's show, we mentioned that Tampa Bay were an MLB best 14-4 since May the 20th. They are now an MLB best 15-4 since May the 20th, having won in extras, one of those games that went into extras last night. Zach Littell's putting a nice sequence together. 3.65 ERA, 109 whip. Tampa Bay are 8-5 straight up in his starts. Lots of unders in there as well. 9-3-1 to the under. Buehler's had back-to-back horrors. 5 earned runs in 2 consecutive starts here. I can't back him currently on that form. Boston aren't doing much to make me want to back them either. And Tampa Bay, just a much more appealing prospect. In a game where both teams are priced up the same, I prefer Littell and I prefer the Rays. So I'll take Tampa Bay at minus 110, Dylan.
I'm actually going to be on the other side. I'm going to trust my numbers here and take the Sox here, minus 110. My numbers made him a minus 130 favorite. Walker Buehler, I get it. Some of his starts have not been good, but he has been much better at home for the Red Sox, and their offense is dangerous at home. I think they're averaging 5.32 runs per game in Boston. And I think Zach Littell, he's been serviceable, but I just think that against this lineup, I think the lineup matches up well against him. So staying away from the total, I think the total is spot on. But I do think the Red Sox have the edge here with their offense. So I'm gonna back them. I know they haven't been playing the best baseball, but I think the offense has been serviceable. So I'll take the Red Sox here.
We've been joined in the chat by Matt Bain, who wants Kansas City. Lonte tipped up Kansas City, actually, for the Tuesday night game against the Yankees. Welcome along, Matt. Nice to have you with us. The next game we are going to look at is the Texas Rangers at the Minnesota Twins. This one goes off at what time? I've lost my page. It is 7:40 Eastern. Jack Leiter for the Rangers. David Fester for the Twins. Minus 130 Minnesota. Plus 110 Texas. Total here is 8.5. I like Jack Leiter. He's got a really good attitude. Very easy guy to root for. Hit a little bit of a bump in May, but still throwing more good starts than bad starts. He keeps the ball in the yard, which is quite important. David Fester was a name I was looking forward to following this year. And he started well in April, then was injured, and came back last week and gave up 8 earned runs, including 3 homers against the A's. But overall, I like him. He's a pitcher I'll be following. I think there'll be good spots in the next few weeks where we can get Fester. Although, judging by this price, maybe the bookies think the same as me. I like both pitchers, and both teams are much stronger to the unders against righties. Texas 33-16-1, Minnesota 29-23-4. And this total looks big to me, 8.5. I'm surprised at this because I do like both starting pitchers. So I'm going to take it under 8.5.
Yeah, I don't mind the under. My total came out to 8.1, so I really don't mind the under here. But I like the Twins here at home, minus 130. My numbers made him a huge favorite, -160 favorite. I agree. I think David Festa has been really solid here at home for the Twins. Only one bad start, but it was on the road, and at home he's been fine. Now getting a Rangers team who they stink on the road, I think it's just another opportunity for him to have a solid outing. What I would like to see a little more out of him is go a little longer. He's been going, 3.5, 4 innings per outing. So like to see him stretch out a little bit, but Rangers only averaging 3.9 runs per game, 3.09, excuse me, runs per game on the road this season. So I think they're going to need much more than 3 runs to beat the Twins, but it goes to your underplay. I agree. Think 2 underwhelming offenses here. I think the Twins have the pitching advantage. I like their bullpen. And the Rangers have lost Jack Leiter's last 4 starts on the road. So I just don't see how they win. I like the Twins, and I also like your underplay.
Next up, 7:40 Eastern. First pitch between the New York Yankees and the Kansas City Royals. Clark Schmidt will go for New York. Left-handed pitcher Chris Bubic goes for the Royals, who are even money at home. -120, the Yankees. And the total sits at 9. Nathan has joined us in the chat. Welcome along, Nathan. He wants a little bit of David Festa tomorrow. D-Rock, Yankees at the Royals.
Yeah, I'll actually take the home puppy here with Chris Bubic. My numbers made him a favorite. And I think the total of 9 is extremely high, if I'm being honest. My total came out to 7.7. Royals a -110 favorite. So I'll take the +104. I'll take the under 9 at -110 as well. Chris Bubic. He's only given up more than 1 run at home 1 time this year. Meanwhile, Clark Schmidt, he has struggled on the road for the Yankees, but Yankees have been an under team recently here, and both backed up by a really good bullpen. Bubic, Kansas City, they have a top 10 bullpen as well. And the under in Kansas City, extremely profitable for the Royals this season, 20-12 towards the under this season. So I think we see a low-scoring game, and I think it's going to be a close, low-scoring game. So I'll take the Royals. I'll take a shot here with the home dog, but I do like the under a lot.
I completely agree with you, Dylan. Surprised to see this come out at 9. Clark Schmidt, pretty average profile, 4.04 ERA and a 129 whips. Just about spot on for him. There's nothing fluky in any of that. But 479 road ERA, not too impressive. They're quite beatable, I think, in this spot. I don't think I've handicapped Bubic on the show for weeks and weeks. And he's been absolutely great. I know he's a little bit of a darling on the prop show with Scott and Adam. If you haven't listened to that, by the way, twice a week in the afternoons, or it'll be mornings for you people. Really good show. Get involved. You'll find it where you find this show. But 12 starts, 143 ERA. Has only given up 5 earned runs at home in 5 starts. His record actually should be much better, but Kansas City don't score any runs for him. They've scored 6 in his last 4 starts. The only game they won behind him was 1-0. So you could do with a little bit more help. But both pitches are strong to the under. So yeah, I completely agree with you. Under 9 for me, Dylan. The penultimate game on the show is an 8:10 Eastern between the Chicago White Sox and the Houston Astros. It will be Sean Burke for the White Sox. The Astros will throw Ryan Gusto, and they are -175, +155 for the White Sox, and the total sits at 8. Even against the White Sox, -175 with Gusto, I think it's a little bit of a stretch. There won't be many people running to the window for that. Burke's been competitive. I feel like when we handicap the White Sox, it's the same chat every single night. They've won 3 of his last 5. I don't know how the White Sox haven't won 70 games. Like, they always, I don't know, they've got a really good record, these pitchers. They never seem to win. The White Sox have won 3 of his last 5. And again, like last night with Shane Smith, at really good prices, +172, +156, +114. So there's profit to be had there. Gusto, short starts, always walks a few. 478 ERA, 164 whip. There's not enough wins in his record and those underlying stats to make him backable at all at -175. I'm going to take the Chicago White Sox Classic, which I'll take every night. White Sox first 5, please, Dylan.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be boring here and take the Astros run line plus money. I think
We
that's
can both win. You're all right.
yeah, exactly. So I think Sean Burke is okay, but he does struggle on the road here, which kind of concerns me. And Houston's offense, I think, is much better than the White Sox. White Sox are a pesky team at home. I don't mind backing them at home in some spots, but on the road, I think they've struggled to score some runs. And just like the Marlins, prevent some of those big innings. Those big innings really kill. They're very demoralizing for some teams. And Astros, they are backed up. I know Ryan Gusto, he is not the best pitcher. Like you mentioned, walks are a concern, but he is backed up by a top 10 bullpen as well. So I do think they'll be able to limit the White Sox here in the later innings. So, and I think we're going to see a little revenge spot for Ryan Gusto as well. Last time he pitched against this White Sox team, couldn't even make it out of the first inning. So I think he's going to want to get this back, get this game back for him. So I'm going to take Astros here -1.5 at plus money just for some value.
Okay. Final game, 8:40 Eastern, is the San Francisco Giants at the Colorado Rockies. We have two southpaws going to the hill in Robbie Ray for the Giants and Kyle Freeland for the Rockies. The Rockies are $2 home underdogs here, -238 for the Giants. Total, Dylan, 10.5. Finish us off with a winner.
Yeah, I think this is a tough game to pick because the money line, the run line, they're just not playable at this point. And I think the total is spot on, so I'm going to leave the total away. But if anything, maybe target Robbie Ray prop. I think he's been great on the road for the Giants. Just 3 runs given up in his last 19 outings on the road. Rockies stink against left-handed pitching, only hitting 201 on the year. So I think they're going to have a really tough time getting to Robbie Ray. So I would take his under 1.5 earned runs here for Robbie Ray. I think that's a very good play.
I'm actually right on the other side of this, Dylan. When Washington were up at +210, I said I was instinctively trying to look for a reason to back them. I did the same here with the Rockies. And there are a few reasons you can get behind the Rockies here. Main one being Robbie Ray's useless in Coors Field. So 8-1 everywhere else, 244 ERA, etc. We've got a huge sample actually. He's pitched loads of games in Colorado, 5.16 ERA. Kyle Freeland's numbers are still high, but I've actually watched him the last couple of starts and he's fared a little bit better. Everything about this was counterintuitive, but I'm going to fade Ray in Coors and I'm going to add to that the couple of promising starts for Freeland. So I'm going to go completely rogue and give the Rockies at +200, Dylan. 15 games in the book in a timely fashion. Well done, mate. Give us your lock and dog, Dylan.
Yeah, so I'll start with my lock, and it's a game we kind of just talked about. It's between the Royals and the Yankees. I'm going to take the under. Like I said, I think the number is just extremely high at 9. I'm starting to see some 8.5s pop up, so grab a 9 while you can. I already did against Chris Bubich, who has been so good at home. Clark Schmidt, he hasn't been the best, but he is serviceable. I think the under's been just so profitable in Kansas City, 20-12 towards the under. So I do think we'll see a low scoring game here. So yeah, under 9 is going to be my lock. As my dog, I did give some plus money, some home dogs here. I'm not going to take the Tigers at even money. That's a little cheap. Blue Jays are not dogs. I'll take Chad Patrick in the
You can have the Blue Jays.
What happened?
You can have the Blue Jays plus
What?
130.
Yeah, I'm not going to take him, even though I really want to. I'm going to take the Brew Crew. I'm going to take the Brew Crew against Spencer Swellenbach here, plus 122, plus 115, whatever you're able to find. But yeah, I just don't trust the Braves. Like you mentioned with the Phillies a little earlier in the show, I'm just not convinced, even though they won the other night. Still don't trust them. They leave a ton of guys on base, especially offensively. They're going to struggle. Brewers are a solid team at home. So, yeah, I'll take a bounce back here for the Brew Crew, and I'll take the home puppy at plus 122.
For my lock, I'm going to stick to a total, and it's a first 5 over between the Seattle Mariners and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Brian Wu has been a little bit dodgy lately. Erod has been dodgy, full stop. And both really strong trends to a first 5 over. So that's where we'll go. as far as the underdog's concerned, I got loads to choose from. I got the Cubs, who are underdog. I like them. I like the Brewers. I like the Blue Jays. I like the Padres. The White Sox alive. The Royals alive. We will go to right neck on the line here. We're taking Colorado, Dylan. Robbie Ray doesn't like it. He don't like going to Coors. He's not keen. He's never been keen. He'll be less keen after tomorrow when they've been spanked by the Rockies. Plus 200 for Colorado. Dylan, it's your favourite part of the show. I know you're a big fan. Give us your home run pick.
I mean, how don't we take the big dumper here? I mean, it's a cop-out, but 26 home runs on the year. And against lefties, he's almost hitting 300. And against Eduardo Rodriguez, who's terrible at home, hitter-friendly ballpark. He has 8 home runs against left-handed pitchers this season. Slugging is .662. Big dumper gets number 27.
I've been employing a new tactic recently, and it's been working all right. So I did like the Tampa Bay Rays against Boston, but Zach Littell has given up 17 home runs this season so far. I went to Boston last night. Oh, no, I didn't. Sorry, I faded Brandon Ford. I was considering fading Tampa Bay, but let me just have a look. So, yeah, Zach Littell's struggling to keep it in the yard. I will take... Is it a good spot to take Roman Anthony for a fun one? No, I'm going to do what I talked myself out of last night. Trevor Story is the answer. Trevor Story can get one off Zach Littell on Wednesday night. There we go. D-Rock, do you have anything to tell the people about before we let them go?
No, good luck on all your bets. We'll be back tomorrow. I know I'm with Scott tomorrow, and I'm starving. I fucking can't wait for some Chipotle. I'm about to go some house some. Do you have that over there? Do you have
no,
Chipotle?
I was going to ask, what is it? I have. Well, I see the word around a lot. It's like things that Chipotle flavored, like. But what is the actual thing?
It's it's like a Mexican grill restaurant. I don't know if you would consider it fast food, but it's like a huge chain. But it's so fucking good. I'm addicted.
And what you get and what's the go-to order?
I usually get a fat ass burrito, and I get some brown rice. I get chicken. I get steak, some sour cream, some guac. Yeah, I fucking load that shit.
See, this food thing, it's 11 p.m. now.
Yeah.
And this last hour before I go to bed fucking kills me, Dylan, because I'm sitting here bored. And even if I've been really good all day, this 1 hour, I'll be guaranteed between now and midnight, I'll be in that fridge 4 times at least. And that's my downfall, Dylan. I've got no discipline. I've never had any discipline. It's too late to try and acquire any now. So, yeah, I'll just have to get fat and die, I suppose. Right, thanks, mate. I enjoyed that. That was lots of fun. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Go and enjoy your fat-ass burger. I'll go and see what's in the fridge.